I guess I have a question about the aging process. It has to do with physical healing, and my question is, how do we stop and reverse the aging process?
Next. Well, it's helpful. Just the words aging process exhibits a belief in decline. And so the fact that it has a label and that you are offering it so easily, the aging process, how do we stop the inevitable aging process, was sort of what you were saying. And the answer to that is you can't under those conditions, because the belief won't let it happen. In other words, it's the belief in decline that is the reason for the aging process. Now, if you're being really logical and you're thinking about moving through time and you're connecting age with moving through time, then you would say, don't really want to stop the aging process. You didn't when you were 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Luke is 9. He would really not like it if the aging process stopped with him. What? I have to be 9 years old forever? So you don't want to stop moving through time, but we can see how you would want to no longer decline. And the way you stop the declining, we're not even going to call it a process. The way you maintain your robustness is by going to the well for refueling on a really regular basis. And so it's about alignment. It's about alignment. It's about resourcing with source. Most people, we can give this to you so easily. Most of you, we love you so much. Most of you, especially a group like this, teachers to the core of your being in so many cases, healers, you are uplifters. You want so much to be of value to others. And in your desire to be of value to others, you sort of stand in this attitude of service. And by that we mean trying to make it better for them, trying to make it better for them, trying to make it better for them. And in your somewhat futile attempt to make it better for them, because it's not your job to make it better for them. Everyone is hardwired to this energy stream. Often in that trying to be the path of least resistance for someone else, you get depleted yourself. And it's that source energy depletion that causes tiredness. Well, let's say it in the order that it happens. It causes resistance, and resistance slows things down. You know that from your understanding of your physics here in this time-space reality. You want to slow something down, put some friction or some resistance. And of course, resistance is helpful. If there were not resistance in your electrical circuitry, you would not be able to harness it and utilize it in the way that you want to. You don't really even understand the source that electricity really is, but you've figured out how to put a sort of damper on it to keep it from blowing out all your circuits, so to speak. And so it's really about understanding this energy that is flowing to you and through you and managing it in a way that you don't ask for more than you allow. And that's what happens with most people. Life is doing just what you knew it would. To break it into 3 steps is a little silly in the sense that you are eternal beings constantly evolving. But 3 basic steps in the beginning of understanding this relationship with energy. The first step is contrast causes you to identify something that you want. That asking is that first step. And then source holds the vibrational frequency of what you've asked for. But you've got to find a way of allowing that into your experience. And so that's why an understanding of vibration, an understanding of emotion, an understanding of how you feel is important. It's at the very heart of this important question that you ask here. Because so many of you, life causes you to know what you don't want, and therefore to launch these rockets of what you do want. So you're launching rockets, you're asking. And source, the inner being, non-physical part of you, becomes immediately each new addendum, each new amendment that you offer of your desire. Source becomes it and calls you toward it. And when you don't go, there's resistance. So your very living of life and you're asking for more is the reason that what you are calling the declining happens. And it's only because you don't go with the flow of who you are. It's like life saying to you, life is supposed to be fun. And Source knowing that, and then you saying, but what about the starving children? And even though there are starving children, your attention to them is contradictory to the intent and the understanding of Source. It's like saying, I really want to be more prosperous, but I hardly know anybody who is. So you are resisting your own desire for financial success by the reality that you are observing, and you are putting tension, vibrational tension, into your vibrational equation, which is really hard on your physical apparatus. You know the difference between being lighthearted and being heavy-hearted. You know the difference between feeling excited and free and easy and eager and feeling downtrodden and overwhelmed. You know the difference between the day you get up to go fishing and the day you get up to go to work. In other words, it doesn't have to be that way, but you have these habits of thoughts, and so you are introducing all kinds of unnecessary resistance into your equation, all under the justification of facing reality. You don't want to be a dreamer. You don't want to be unreal. You don't want to be too unrealistic. And we say, we don't want you to face reality. We want you to create reality. And there's a certain amount of facing reality that is part of creating reality, but you do it way more than you need to. You spend way more time in the noticing of what is and not nearly enough time in the anticipation of what's coming. And in the process of what feels like natural day-to-day stuff for you, you introduce unnecessary resistance into your equation, and then you accept what you feel is the inevitable, natural decline. And we want to say to you, it is not inevitable and it is not natural, but it is normal for humans, because most have forgotten who they really are and how energy flows. And most of all, you have forgotten that you are supposed to feel good, and you are not vigilant about caring about feeling good. So you'll have conversations that are happening in the room even when they don't feel good, rather than a conversation that you are generating that does. You will observe unwanted things even though it doesn't feel good, because after all it's reality, or after all it's a popular subject. Even though your own guidance system is saying to you, you wanted to know how to be healthy and happy in your physical body, and your guidance is showing you, but you are defying your own guidance, overriding it with other things like what somebody else wants from you. Starts out early, doesn't it? Those parents that are well-meaning mostly, they got your attention, and so often you give in to their perspective of what you should or should not be doing in any moment in time, rather than listening to your own guidance. Oh, you are source energy, and you came into this body with great intent, and you sifted and you sorted and you've launched desires, and you have become a vibrational reality that, if you will allow, you will receive the inspiration to move that vibration all the way to the full manifestation. And it can be about anything that you want, anything that you want. You got that conceptually, didn't you? In other words, it did make sense to you, didn't it? 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 Doesn't that make sense to you? Do you believe that you are the creator of your own reality? Do you accept that you are extensions of source energy? Do you know that this is a vibrational universe? And do you know that your emotions tell you what your vibration is? And do you know that negative emotion is slowing you down? Negative emotion is slowing you down. That's the answer to your question. What is the reason for the aging process? Negative emotion. The endurance of it, the willingness to endure it, the acceptance of it, the normalcy of it, the readiness to accept it, the willingness to engage in unwanted things. That's the reason. That's the reason that prosperity eludes sometimes. That's the reason that health eludes. That's the reason that vitality, and nice to know, isn't it? Yeah. So then what to do about it? What to do about it? Chill out. Chill out. Nothing's worth it. Nothing's worth it. Stop making such big, hairy deals about things that don't matter. Get your nose out of everybody else's business. Mind your own business. Don't try to be the path of least resistance for anybody else. Just be your own path of least resistance, which means find the thoughts that feel the best and watch what happens. Watch how you begin translating this knowledge of source that knows everything that you want and where you stand in relationship to everything you want, who is giving you constant, steady feedback. You just got to get in the vicinity of it so that you can receive the inspiration about it. Doesn't have to be so hard. Doesn't have to be so hard. You really got it, didn't you?
Yeah.
You really got it. We really gave it to you.
Yes.
We gave it to you.
Yes.
The question is, did you receive it from us? We gave it to you. Did you receive it from us? Did you receive it? Did you hear what you got to do? You got to feel better more of the time, which means you got to start with things that are easy to feel good about. Don't take those hard things. You know that guy that's been just driving you out of your mind? Don't start with him. Don't start with him, because that will not go well. Start with easy things. Start with things that are easy, and be as general as you can be about them until you begin breathing again and feeling again and laughing again. Get outside more. Be more playful. Drink more water. Move your body more. Do more of those things that feel good. Get yourself moving and flowing. Spend more time with more people. Have more fun. Laugh more. Drink more.
Let loose.
Look for things that feel good more. Be more playful. Be less stressful. Don't work so hard. Don't work so hard. Stop trying to prove yourself to anyone. They're not getting it anyway. They're not getting it anyway. They're not as interested in you as you think that they are. They're not having as much of you as you think you are. Stop defending yourself. Just be who you are. Just live happily ever after. And if anybody tries to grill you or drill you about what are you doing, say, it's really not any of your business. And if they say, well, are you getting the job done? Say, well, time will tell. And if they say, well, you don't seem to be doing what I think I need you to do, then say, well, then you need to change your perspective. Because what you think of me really is not any of my business. That's your deal. That's your deal. I've decided to live happily ever after starting right now. Not later. Happily ever after sounds like later. I've decided to live happily ever after starting right now. Starting right now. Right now, right now, right now, right now, right now. Now, this is going to take a while. Now. Yeah.